Now then, Atheist of the North, back again. Today, I want to discuss a video that Sargon of Akkad made a couple of weeks ago, in which he discussed higher education, tuition fees, and higher education in general. Now, I am a big fan of Sargon. He's got a lot of good things to say. I agree with a lot of what he does have to say, and he is usually pretty good when it comes to research. But even he admits at the beginning of this video that he just simply couldn't be bothered for this one. And it shows. His entire argument is based around his own gut feelings about a subject he knows absolutely nothing about. After all, his only connection to higher education was that he once went to university to study computing and only lasted a year before he dropped out. I'm going to demonstrate how you'll find that Sargon's gut feelings are completely incorrect when you actually start doing some research and examining reality. So where do I come in here? Well, I've successfully graduated from several universities at various levels, and I've worked as a lecturer in higher education for 10 years. I quit due to the depressing nature of a system in absolute decline, and a system under the influence of the social sciences. I do still occasionally lecture at some universities in Eastern Europe who have yet to succumb to the leftist narrative. So, let's make a start.
The proportion of 18-year-olds who stay on in higher education has risen from less than 10% in 1970 to around half today. That obviously costs more, which is one of the reasons why fees were introduced in the first place. Yes.
And that's good because?
Record numbers of students being accepted into universities under the system that we have in England. 532,000 people in the UK entered higher education in 2015, which was an increase of 16,000 people on the year before. And I'm sure that if I were to find 2016s and when we get 2017s, they'll probably be increasing as well. What is wrong with the system? Everyone's getting educated. People who want education are getting it. Shut up with your stupid, radical, left-wing bullshit.
Under the Blair government, yes, the same government that brought in tuition fees, the number of people going into higher education went up dramatically. It used to be 15%. That's what it was when I first went to university. Now it's up to 50%. Degrees are supposed to mean something. They are an achievement. If you're now going to allow half of all your school leavers to go to university, then you have just one or two choices. You either have an enormous dropout rate, or you have to lower the standards. Now, one of the areas in which universities are judged by the QAA is on dropout. Therefore, we now have a pass at all cost initiative within universities. They are lowering their admission standards and fighting over mediocre school leavers. Indeed, many universities are now actually allowing students to fail a certain percentage of their degree modules. I first come across this in a meeting with Leeds Metropolitan University. This is something formerly unfucking heard of. And that's not to mention the amount of students studying worthless subjects. But we'll come back to that in a moment. Sargon seems to believe that all these students are studying worthwhile subjects and will all earn vast amounts of money and will be able to pay off their debts, their student debts, no problem.
That introducing fees has damaged social mobility, and that loading kids up with debt as they start off in life is about as regressive as you can get. Really. I mean, maybe if they get jobs after they get their degrees, they can actually pay it off.
So what do you think the average student loan debt is, Sargon? Well, it's £32,000, and that's increasing. 32,000 fucking pounds of debt before they ever even earn a single penny. But a little bit of research from Sargon and he would have discovered that the latest report, published literally just days before Sargon made this video, suggests that 8 out of 10 graduates will never, ever fully pay off their student loans. So it turns out society is going to pay after all this, Sargon. They're not going to earn lots of money, are they? Your feelings were wrong, weren't they? You have a go at other people's feels, as you put it, feels. But this entire video is based only on your feels. Hypocritical as well as lazy researching, eh?
Why should the working class and their tax money go towards paying for middle class education? I would love an answer to this. Doesn't seem very pro-working class. It actually seems kind of anti-working class, especially as apparently the working class are quite happy taking loans to go to university. And then they get their degrees, probably in something STEM-related or something else concrete that can end up making them money in the real world, and then they end up paying it back. They don't tend to do gender studies, I imagine. I would have to check, I suppose, but if I was going to put my money on it, I would bet that intersectionality is a bourgeois subject.
So let me get this straight. You think most HE students are studying STEM fields? And you'd bet money on few people studying social science bollocks, eh? Let's have a look, shall we? What are the most popular areas? Well, STEM subjects are there, along with engineering and medical. But there are also the creative arts, which is massively popular. Oh, and the social sciences, which include all the gender studies crap, etc. And this area is unbelievably huge. Sargon, why do you think that these people have such a loud voice within universities, even institutions such as Cambridge? It's because of their large number of students and the vast amount of money that they bring into the university. Again, your feels were wrong. You should take your own advice and not go on feelings, and actually do some research. And as we just saw, the creative arts subject is hugely popular. In one HE institution where I lectured, we had to fight for every piece of technical equipment, yet the performing arts department got everything they wanted. A new building, new facilities, special dance floors and studios, theatres, theatre equipment, everything. Why? Because the student growth rate was exponential. It was huge. Yes, it had no academic standards. And yes, it offered no intellectual value whatsoever. But it brought in lots and lots of money. So, these performing arts and creative arts students, how much can they expect to earn once they graduate with a degree and tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt? Oh shit. They're going to be earning the same and even less than school leavers. There are no jobs for them. Why will they earn the same as a school leaver 3 or 4 years younger than them? Because they're going to be working in fucking McDonald's side by side with them. Come on, Sargon. Do you think that they're going to be paying back their student loan anytime soon? And when they don't, who do you think's going to be paying for it, eh, Sargon? But hey, what does Sargon really think about students?
Bourgeois Students who are now well on their way to earning a lot of money can pay for their own fucking tuition, can't they? And it's so incredibly selfish. Why want society to pay for my higher education? Why?
Bourgeois middle class. That's what students are. Selfish, bourgeois, middle class. 1/3 of students in higher education are working class. And in some universities, and most, if not all, HE colleges, that number's more than half. So come on, please don't insult us with your obvious biases. Oh, and why should society pay? Because it's society that benefits from having these educated people. And that's you, Sargon. You benefit. You benefit every time you go visit your doctor. When your children go to school, it lowers the unemployment rate. Those that do earn more will pay more in taxes, therefore paying for their education. I mean, come on, Sargon, how many fucking times do you want them to pay for their education? It has reduced real inequality and it progresses society. But hey, don't let the facts get in the way of your feels, Sargon.